Hello, this is a very important video for me to make. This is reflecting on the Netflix documentary that came out. I want to say starring, but by Louis Theroux on the Manosphere. So for you who don't know what the Manosphere is, it's kind of this collective of individuals who have a certain view on women and money and are using their influence to influence younger men into this way of thinking. And it is very problematic at the moment. It is going to be a big problem if we allow this to continue. I'm going to basically come at it from a teacher's perspective. Um, I am a teacher, PE teacher, where, working in schools, talk to my colleagues, what I see, we are seeing a lot more misogynistic behaviour from our young boys and young men in our schools. So I just kind of want to break it down. I've watched the documentary twice now at this point, and it makes me really angry. I'm not gonna lie, it's so some of the stuff and some of the way that these guys talk about women and life and what they deem as successful in life is just so far off from where we need to get young people. And again, I'm going to try to frame it within a teacher perspective. So I'm going to go and show you some stats that I think are going to be really relevant to what we're going to talk about within the documentary. So the first one I've highlighted here is actually a report from the Scottish Government from 2023, I believe. The qualitative research identifies new and emerging patterns of disruptive behaviour, including vaping and in-school truancy, a rise in misogynistic views expressed by male pupils, and problematic use of mobile phones and social media. Obviously, the key one we are looking at there is a rise in misogynistic views by male pupils. There is also another set of statistics that I want to show you. NASWA, which is one of the teaching unions in Scotland, sent out a survey to its members, and as you can see from the survey itself, nearly half of female teachers in schools who responded said they experienced physical abuse or violence from pupils in the previous 12 months, compared to 36% of male respondents. 27% of teachers reported being hit, female teachers that is, or punched, compared to 13% of male. 20% of female teachers reported being kicked, compared to 8% of male teachers. 37% of female teachers said they had been shoved or barged by people, compared to 33% of male teachers. And 12% of female teachers said they'd been spat at, compared to 4% of male teachers. These statistics clearly show that misogyny clearly has still been in schools, but it is now on the rise again, with female teachers being physically abused and verbally abused more than their male counterparts, which I'm sure was the case already, but it seems to be becoming a lot more prevalent within schools, within my colleagues that I've talked to, and from just what I've seen in schools. I'm in the heart of it. I've been in two schools now, and it is very much an issue within schools. So we're going to break down the Manosphere documentary and kind of talk about some of the key issues, and then I almost want to wrap it up and hopefully give a nice, neat bow on it, but I'm not sure what that's going to look. So I've got a few topics that I want to talk about that kind of came out of the documentary. The first kind of theme that I want to talk about is it's going to kind of combine it with money slash insecurity. So these guys who are on the documentary are all very much money driven, and the way they associate that with success is very concerning to me. like trying to get people to understand that money is important, obviously, in life, and we want people to earn enough money to be comfortable. But these guys are pushing this narrative that no, that's not enough to just be comfortable. You need more. You need millions. You need billions to be successful in this life. And it's such an unhealthy way of thinking. Like, I'm a teacher. I get paid well. I am comfortable with my living, and I love my life. I love what I provide as a teacher. I love that I do have enough money to go and do things that I enjoy, pay for a good gym. I obviously pay for my membership for my sports team. I can go away on little trips here and there. I can buy new things if I want, and I'm okay with that. And like, I don't feel the need to kind of chase this monkey, this dragon, to go after millions of of money, because yeah, it's just not what I associate with success in life. Like, my success and my joy of life comes from being able to help other people, being able to, help a pupil with something that then they go on and achieve. Like, that is enough for me. Money allows me a comfort where I can then go off and do that. So I'm definitely, obviously, not downplaying the importance of money in our life, but like, they are now teaching kids that you need to be making money and making money any way possible, which is the key thing. HS talks openly about how he thinks OnlyFans is disgusting, yet he runs them. Oh, it doesn't run them. Sorry, he owns. I'll use his words. He owns an agency who runs them, so he profits off them. Yet he thinks it's disgusting. So morally, he is against it, but because he's making money off it, he's okay. He's okay to look the other way. And I just think it is really, really dangerous thing to be teaching our kids, teaching our young people that you need to make money and you need to make it regardless of the morality of the situation. Insecurity. My word, the insecurity on show from these guys is off the charts. Maybe the only guy who seems really assured himself is the guy in Miami, the guy who's always dressed nice. But again, is that a bit of a facade that there's clear, HS is insecure. Like, as soon as things start to maybe go against him, or he starts to um, face difficult questions, he puts up a front and he starts being aggressive. That Myron as well, as soon as the question gets hard and you see the mask starting to slip with his alpha maleness, he all of a sudden has to try and reassert it. Oh, go clean up that. And yeah, it's just so prevalent. And I feel sorry for these guys in a way, because they must feel so insecure to the point where they need to put on this facade, this mask of them being alpha males when they're not. Like, they're just not. They can claim to be, but they're not, because you see the mask slip and you see what's underneath, which is just an average guy. And that's okay, but to them it's not. To them, they need to be the center of attention. They need to be the one in charge, when they can't happen. I can't have it all the time. Like, being a great leader is to allow others to flourish. You don't need to be in charge all the time. You don't need to be the center of attention. So yeah, just thought that was really interesting from a lot of the the people that were documented in this. Okay, I think one of the most bits that gets me angry the most, is that these guys try to portray themselves as role models and like young men, and need to have my guidance in order to get better. And they talk about how the stuff they put out is for them and it's to help them, when it's not. It is so self-serving. It's all about them. It's all about their ego. They do not care what happens to the other side. They do not care whether these boys, these young men actually take their advice and run with it. They are just like, money. Give me money. If you pay me, great. I have already achieved what I want, regardless of what the outcome is at your end. If you fail, I don't care. I don't care. If you succeed, great. I can use that to serve me even more. And it's just so like all the kind of motivational talk about being alpha and like just really trying to portray themselves as these heroes for young men, and how they're just here to help out everybody when they're not. They're not. All they see is cash, and all they see is money when they provide these things, provide these advice, provide whatever they do. They only see money. They're so selfish, it's unbelievable. It's ridiculous, and it really makes my blood boil. We're going to get to the disgusting views. Just some horrific views on women, on homosexuality, on religion, on trans, like just so conspiracy theories. Like these guys are nut jobs. Some of the views they have, and we're allowing them to speak it to a bunch of younger people, younger generations, so they can then take up that mantle and hear these things. And yeah, it just I'm not. I was going to maybe play some clips in, but I don't even want to because I don't want to watch it again. Like these guys just have the worst views on women, but like I've never heard such disregard for another person's feelings, for another like people who are just so up their own asses that they think that they can talk to these women the way they want. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely vile the way they speak to them. And I just it baffles me how people look up to these people. It baffles me how they think, oh yeah, that's someone I want to look up to, when they're describing women as as materialistic and just who are there, who have a use based on their beauty. It's just disgusting, like awful, horrendous. I'm running out of adjectives to describe just how bad and grotesque. There's another one. It is. Yeah, I can't. I just when I saw, I've obviously known about some of them before, but to see the level of depravity that these guys go to when speaking directly to women is awful, and it explains why we're seeing the statistics that we're seeing, the misogynistic views in school, the physical assaults rising. It is awful. So I want to touch on this idea of the matrix, of this idea that there's a system in place, that there's a higher power that is controlling, and these guys are trying to break the younger guys out of the system to basically free them from being controlled, free them from being kept down, and it's a load of bullshit because they are the bad guys, but they need this imaginary system in place so they can redirect the the kind of feelings and the animosity of these young men towards something else. Because if people actually, if these guys actually stopped and think and actually thought about who the bad guys were, like this whole idea of the Matrix is just a smokescreen. It's just to deflect. It's to it's to give these guys something to fight against, to make them seem like the heroes, to make them seem like they're fighting for a cause, to free you from this system that is keeping you down, that is holding you back from achieving your potential. When it's not, they are making up, and it's purely to provide them with an antagonist, with someone, something, an entity that they can point at and go, well, I may be bad, but they're not controlling you. Or I may be doing these things, but it's only to get out of the system, and I can help you. And that's going to be appealing to a lot of these young guys. Like, they're going to think that they are kind of lost in this world, and I'll touch on that in a wee bit. But they're going to feel lost, and they're going to feel like, why is my life not going the way it's supposed to? And then they're going to hear these guys going, there's someone against you. And it's not me, it's this matrix, it's this entity, it's this government, it's this Satanists, as that Sneeko talked about, which is just ridiculous. They create these conspiracy theories to mask what is actually going on. They're just simply using it as a means to an end to further their own agenda and get more money, basically. So I think the most concerning thing for me as a teacher is the amount of young people in this show who are shown to kind of approach these guys and speak very highly of them, like talk about them as role models, talk about them as being inspiration. There's one guy who meets another guy and starts a YouTube channel because of him, because of the stuff that he has done. And, working with young people, that is just such it's very disheartening. It's very disheartening for me as a teacher to see, because obviously in school we're trying to teach these kids the right values with regard to how to act in society. These young men, like how to obviously how to behave and how to present themselves in society, and we only have so much time in the day. They then go away and they can spend hours consuming this content, which is just going against what we are actually trying to teach them, which is to be upstanding citizens, to appreciate things in life, not to put people down, don't be a bully. All these sorts of things come under it. And yet they see these guys doing all that, being successful, making money, getting girls, and it's going to be appealing to them. And they think, well, if I act like that, I could be like them. And yeah, it was just really, it almost breaks my heart in a way, to see that these young men are being so not easily influenced. We're going to get to that, but being influenced by these people who are, my thoughts on them. I just think they're the most deranged human beings that we've ever produced. Like, I think their thoughts are just so disgusting and so far out there that to see people defend them as well, the young people defend them, or they're just misunderstood. What is there to misunderstand about these guys who openly berate women, openly talk about how they want to dominate women, how they want to control women, and put down other men as well? Like, if you're not an alpha male, you are nothing. You are not long for this world in their eyes. Like, they will cast you aside as quickly as they knew your name. And yeah, that was, I think, the biggest the biggest takeaway for me, certainly, working with these young people on a daily basis and seeing young people in the film just really speak so highly about these guys. And I'm like, how? How? Like, I'd like to think when I was that age, I would have seen these guys and went, what are these guys saying? Like, that is, at that age, I'm sure I would have been able to go, nah, that's too much. That is really too much. But yeah, definitely something that needs to be addressed and needs to be looked at. So now I kind of want to talk about how we got here, and I'm gonna look at it from the young people's perspective, and why would they be influenced by these people? And I think it comes down to a place of, and we need to be empathetic to these young men who are influenced, in that they feel lost in this world. They feel like the world is against them when it's not. Like, this idea that society is against men is just ridiculous. But it's been pushed so much, and then the narrative in these kind of spaces become that they feel like it is, and they are not achieving what they want to in life, and they feel lost, and they feel like they need guidance, and these men are providing this opportunity. They're providing them a chance to get women. They're providing them a kind of structure. They're kind of providing them with advice, life advice, fitness advice, money advice, and they're taken up by it because they are not being taught the value that they can have in society. They are being taught the value through these guys, which is money, women, power. We need to, as I say, shift that and get them to find the value within themselves, get them to find the value within life. Like, money is not the be all and end all. I think that should be something that we try and teach our kids. Like, of course, money is important, but you can have a job as a teacher, like I do, and love it. I absolutely love my job. I get paid well, I'm comfortable, but I have that job satisfaction. Being a nurse, being a doctor, being a firefighter, like being the police, like all these kind of really rewarding professions that you can go into, make a good living, and have a good job satisfaction with it. But they are being taught by these guys that money is everything, and they are lost in this world, and we need to do a better job at helping them find their way. And I think that is ultimately going to kind of end this video. I do kind of want to try and end on a bit more positive note, like kind of that idea that we can change this, and I think we do need to do it soon. I really do. Like, I think the longer this goes with these guys who are influence young people, like they're gonna grow up and they're gonna have these views in their head. They're gonna potentially become influenced. It's just gonna cycle. It's gonna snowball and snowball. We need to put a stop to it. We really do. Otherwise, the statistics that we talked about earlier with female teachers are gonna rise. The statistics we see with regard to um, physical abuse of women is going to rise. Verbal abuse of women is going to rise because of the values that are being instilled in them. The idea that men should be dominant. Totally ridiculous. Like, absolutely disgusting. So I said I wanted to end positive, and that wasn't really positive. But I can see, like, I want to say, like, as a teacher, I work with so many amazing young men who are such great role models. Um, and it is a minority, like in the school, it is still a minority. But as Louis said in the documentary, it's becoming more mainstream. It's becoming more common for young people to have these views, and that is scary. Again, said I wanted to end positive, not ending in positive. Um, go back to the young people. So many young people in my school who are great. I've got mental health ambassadors. I've got about 6 of them, really mature young boys who are taking on the task of potentially doing mental health initiatives for the school, which will greatly increase the hopefully how open boys and young men are in our school to talk about mental health. So I want to end on that. That's good. So it's not all doom and gloom, but we do need to address it. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Like, we need to get Discord. We need to get comments back in the comments. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is we need to have discussions, not arguments. Like, if you disagree with me, and you put your comment in the correct manner, that's fine. You can disagree with me, but do it in the right way. Don't attack me. Say what you have to say, and I'll reply. If you agree with me, good. What do you agree with? Let me know down in the comments below. And with all that being said, all that's left to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.